guys, welcome to Amanda's Alternatives. So today I chose to do a cranberry stuffing stuffed with pork tenderloins, not only because it is a rainy day, but it is one of my favorite comfort foods. I'm super excited to make this recipe today because stuffing is one of my favorite comfort foods to make, and to stuff it in a pork tenderloin just makes it all the better. I'm not going to be doing a demonstration on making the stuffing that I'm going to be preparing today, but what I can tell you is that my secret ingredient in stuffing is wine. As you all are well aware by now, if you would like to expand on this recipe, you can also make some gravy on the side and you can drizzle a little bit on there. And with this recipe, it does not require a lot of ingredients really. It just requires that you have a pork tenderloin and your favorite stuffing recipe. So grab your favorite stuffing recipe, get it together, and get cooking. Okay, so you want to place your pork tenderloin on a cutting board, and to ensure that you are going to make a proper cut, kind of just gauge that by looking at your pork tenderloin. And of course, the thicker, smoother part of your pork tenderloin is not the part where you're going to be cutting into. The part that is more narrow, where the meat comes together, is the part where you're going to cut through it. But you want to make sure that you don't end up cutting right through it completely. Hold it firmly. You just want to make sure that you're cutting this much into it. You want to ensure that you have at least a ½ inch to work with. I start on this end here so that way I know how much thickness on both sides I will have. Hold it firmly against the cutting board and start cutting across, ensuring that you leave enough thickness on both sides. Perfect. This is exactly what you want. You want to butterfly your pork tenderloin. The thickness is the same throughout, just like so. What I typically do is I will place a piece of saran wrap that's large enough to cover more than the pork tenderloin and place it over top of the meat. And now you want to use your meat tenderizer and tenderize the entire meat. That took me probably about 4 to 5 minutes. And now you want to season it. What I use to season it is a little bit of Himalayan salt, a little bit of pepper, and Italiano seasoning. So before you start stuffing your pork tenderloin, you want to make sure that your stuffing has come to room temperature or has cooled off slightly. You don't want to put hot stuffing onto your raw pork tenderloin. And you also want to make sure that your stuffing is not too dry, as when you stuff the pork tenderloin and it is cooking in the oven, it is going to cook more. You want to make sure that your stuffing has enough moisture content in it that it will not dry out too much when it's in the oven. So once you have prepared your stuffing and it has cooled down enough, you could just place dollops of it down the middle of your pork tenderloin. And then you want to fold it on up. It's okay if some stuffing comes out. And what you can use to hold your pork tenderloin together is some toothpicks, or if you have special string. What I also heard of as well is floss string. I've heard of people using floss string before. It works just as well and it does not melt or anything like that. And the mint flavor does not go on the food. I have certainly tried it out and I do not notice a difference. It does not taste like mint to me. So what I'm going to do is just ravel this baby up. And then you are going to place your stuffed pork tenderloin into your baking dish and ensure that the opening side is facing up. I don't think it really matters which way is facing. However, I have always ensured that the opening is facing up just so that way I can monitor it while it is cooking and to ensure that the stuffing is not spilling out as it is cooking. I've seen some recipes say to cook the pork tenderloin at 420, and then some say at 375, some say 350, some say 400. I guess it really doesn't matter as long as your internal temperature of your pork tenderloin reaches 145 degrees with a meat thermometer. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to cook my stuffed pork tenderloin at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm going to set my timer for 1 hour. And the timing that it takes your pork tenderloin to cook also depends if whether your meat was at room temperature or if you pulled it out of the fridge right away. My pork tenderloin is at room temperature, so it will cook sooner than an hour and a half. And depending on your oven and your baking dish, it may take longer or it may be done sooner. If you guys are looking for something very simple to put together as a side, what I have done was I spread out asparagus on a baking sheet, drizzled a little bit of olive oil on it, as well as I seasoned it with Himalayan salt and pepper, as well as Italiano seasoning. I had leftover bacon in my fridge and I figured to use the remaining of it to wrap a few pieces of asparagus in it. And this could be baked for about 25 minutes in the oven on the lower rack below the pork tenderloin. I would put this in at about 25 minutes before the pork tenderloins were completed cooking. Another side that you can do is a cucumber salad. I had lots of cucumbers in my fridge, so I figured to put together a very fast and simple cucumber salad recipe. All that I used for this very simple and fast cucumber salad was olive oil, balsamic vinegar, Italiano seasoning, Himalayan salt, Greek, feta, and oregano salad dressing, just to give it that touch of a Greek dressing, feta flavor type to the salad, and a touch of black pepper. And to give it more of that wonderful flavor, you can even add in minced garlic. You can add basically anything that you have readily available in your kitchen to make a very fast and simple side dish to your pork tenderloin. Okay guys, I hope you enjoy your pork tenderloin dinner. Please let me know if you have tried out this recipe and if you have made your alternatives and what those alternatives were. Thank you for joining me on Amanda's Alternatives. Be sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel to see more upcoming videos. And be sure to follow me on Instagram on Amanda's Alternatives. Thank you guys, and I look forward to cooking with you next time.